Good morning, Mayor. It's afternoon now, I think.
All right, afternoon it is. Good afternoon, Senator.
So first, let me just say, when I agree with you, and there's a few things I agree with you on in your testimony. I share your concern about the cuts to New York City social service programs, particularly foster care preventive services, and the continuing unfair treatment towards the city with respect to raise the age. And I've registered those complaints with the administration. But I need you to help me on something, because I was here when we settled, I think we settled the campaign for fiscal equity, and the former Governor Elliott Spitzer adopted the foundation aid formula. And I'm not an expert on education funding, I'll be honest. But I'm somewhat confused, because I know we thought we were going to implement it, then we had to slow it down because of the financial collapse of 2008, and 9, and 10, which continued. But we have increased education funding each year, and now we're almost $300 million more to New York City in this year's budget, but you're saying that we're getting $300 million less. So help me understand that.
Yes, and I appreciate the question. Thank you very much, by the way, for your leadership on the social service issue, because it's absolutely crucial to get that money restored. To your question, so the first problem with the proposal this year is the way the money is specifically channeled. Unfortunately creates a winners and losers situation that we'd like to avoid. We would, our goal, and we did it in part with city funds last year, is to keep raising that fair student funding formula to 100% for all schools. We're at 93% average now. Again, another example where the end is near. We're in striking range within a few years of 100% for every single school. But the reality of the governor's proposal is that it would specifically take money from some schools and give them to other schools. We don't think that's the smart or equitable way to improve and support schools that need more help by taking away from other schools. That's the functional reality that would occur here. The other facts, Senator, are obviously, look, the cost of running such a large school system have continually gone up. The labor contracts we feel good about. We made it a point to actually have labor contracts. The previous administration did not. That's one way they may have spent less money. We've been under mandate for special ed that we believe is fair, and we've actually been living up to it and spending that money. For example, money that we are mandated to spend, and sometimes we have disagreements on, is the charter mandate, but that's something we've had to put a lot of money out for. So when you add it all up, our costs have continued to increase, but so have the results that you would rightfully demand. The graduation rate continues to go up, test scores going up, college readiness, college acceptance. And the big core investments, and your district has been an area that's seen a lot of this, the pre-K and 3K, have gone to a lot of places that really were not getting enough and have been very powerful additions. So I would argue that the problem here is high quality education costs a lot of money. You can be as efficient as you want, but it still costs a lot of money. And it had to start a lot earlier anyway, if we were really serious about it. And that's what we've been acting on. But if we took campaign for fiscal equity and said, okay, law is a law, and it was followed through on, that would, in one fell swoop, every school would be brought to 100% fair student funding.
So it's just in the 1.5 minutes I have left. So it's not necessarily the dollar amount the city's getting, it's the direction that you're being told
Correct.
That you have to use it in. So in the final minute I have, let me just say, I agree with my colleagues with respect to the issue of property taxes. As an aggrieved New York City property taxpayer, the burden is getting higher. And I understand the Byzantine nature of the New York City property tax system. It's going to require the city and the state to work together, and I think we need to do something about it. And with respect to congestion pricing, I don't like the plan that's being presented right now. I do think we need to do something. I think, though, that there was a proposal that came out a year or so ago, the Move New York plan. I sponsored it in the Senate along with some of my other colleagues and some members of the Assembly. That's a much fairer system because it doesn't create winners and losers. It puts tolls on every bridge at a manageable rate, and everyone is in and everybody gets something, all 13 counties of the system. And I think it's something that we should look at because we heard last week from the MTA, they have a tremendous operating budget deficit as well as a capital deficit. So this congestion pricing proposal isn't going to solve both of those problems. And I represent people, as you know, on Staten Island, some of whom, and by the way, thank you for the fast ferries. We appreciate it, but many of our constituents have to, take multiple methods of work, of transportation to get to where they're going. And Assemblyman Carroll, not everybody who drives to work is rich. Some people have no choice. And we would like some, opportunities in the parts of the city that need it. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Senator.